Your child lines up their toy cars in a perfect row, not scattered like most kids play, but end to end, wheels facing the same direction over and over. Is this just a quirk, or one of 10 subtle signs of autism you can start noticing between ages 2 and 5? As a child development specialist, I work with families navigating questions like this every single day. And here's the thing, these signs are so subtle that most parents, and honestly even some professionals, miss them at first glance. Catching them early doesn't mean labeling your child. It means giving them the right support at the age when their brain is most ready to build new skills. So let's start with sign number 1, and it comes down to eye contact. The first sign is how your child uses their eyes when they're excited about something. Here's a simple thing to try at home. Point to something exciting across the room, like a dog walking by the window, and watch what your child does next. On track, you'll usually see a head turn or some response within a couple of seconds, even if they don't stop playing. A child who might benefit from extra support may not respond at all, or only respond after several repeats or when you get right in front of them. This doesn't mean hearing problems. It's often about how the brain is prioritizing sounds, and it's worth mentioning at a checkup either way. The third sign is in how your child plays with toys, specifically whether they use them the way they're meant to be used or find their own patterns. Watch how they play with a toy car for a full minute without prompting them. On track, a child might roll the car around, crash it, pretend it's talking, make up little stories with it. A child who might benefit from extra support might instead spin the wheels repeatedly, watching them turn, or line the car up with other toys in a precise row again and again, seeming most content when the pattern is exact. This kind of repetitive, pattern-focused play is common and isn't automatically a concern on its own, but paired with other signs, it's worth noting. And I want to pause here for a second. Seeing one of these signs in isolation doesn't mean anything is wrong. Kids are wonderfully varied, and plenty of these behaviors show up in typical development too. We're just building a fuller picture together. The fourth sign is how your child handles changes in routine. Try this one naturally. Next time you take a different route home or swap their usual cup for a different one at snack time, just watch their reaction. On track, a child might notice, maybe comment on it, and move on within a minute or two. A child who might benefit from extra support may become intensely upset, cry, or struggle to settle for much longer than you'd expect, almost like the change itself feels unsafe. This matters because it can point to how a child's brain processes predictability. Some kids find comfort in sameness in a way that goes beyond typical preference. The fifth sign is in your child's hands and body, specifically repetitive movements when they're excited or overwhelmed. Watch what happens the next time something thrills them, like an ice cream truck driving by or a favorite song coming on. On track, you might see jumping, clapping, maybe a happy squeal, big whole-body excitement that fades once the moment passes. A child who might benefit from extra support might flap their hands, rock back and forth, or flick their fingers near their eyes. And this movement pattern shows up consistently, not just once. These movements are called self-stimulatory behaviors, or stimming. And while many kids do some version of this, frequency and intensity are what we pay attention to. The sixth sign is language. Specifically, how your child uses words they already know. Listen closely during everyday moments like snack time or bath time to how they talk. On track, a child might say, "more juice today," and "juice please" tomorrow, mixing and rearranging words as they experiment with language. A child who might benefit from extra support might repeat the exact same phrase word for word in the same tone, almost like a script. sometimes even repeating something they heard from a show days or weeks later in the exact same context. This is called echolalia, and it's a completely normal part of language learning for many toddlers. It only becomes something to flag when it's the primary way a child communicates, rather than one tool among many. Take a breath here if you need to. You're not diagnosing your child by watching for these things. You're simply paying attention, which is exactly what a loving, engaged parent does. The seventh sign is in how your child explores textures and sensations. Notice what happens at mealtime or bath time. Does your child avoid certain textures altogether or seek out sensations that seem unusual? On track, a child might have food preferences, sure, but they'll generally tolerate a range of textures with some fussing. A child who might benefit from extra support might gag or completely refuse anything mushy or bumpy, or on the flip side, seek out intense sensations, pressing their face into carpet, seeking tight bear hugs, or being unusually unbothered by things that would startle other kids like loud noises or bright lights. This is about how the nervous system processes sensory input, and it can look like either oversensitivity or undersensitivity. The eighth sign is in your child's facial expressions, specifically how much their face matches their feelings. Watch them during a genuinely funny or exciting moment, like a silly peekaboo game. On track, most kids will have big, easy-to-read expressions. The eyes light up, the mouth follows, it all feels connected. A child who might benefit from extra support might smile, but the expression can seem slightly out of sync with the moment, or their range of expressions might feel a little more limited overall. This one is subtle and easy to miss, which is exactly why it's on this list. I know watching for all of this while also just trying to enjoy your kid can feel like a lot. If you're finding yourself wanting a simple way to track what you're noticing without turning every day into an evaluation, I put together a free milestone tracking guide that walks you through what to watch for and when. You'll find the link in the description. It's meant to make this easier, not more stressful. Okay, back to it. The ninth sign is in how your child plays with other kids, specifically around sharing enjoyment, not just sharing space. Watch them at a playground or play date for a few minutes. On track, a child might toddle over to show another kid a cool rock they found, practically glowing with the need to share it. A child who might benefit from extra support might play near other kids happily enough, but rarely initiates that "look what I found" moment, seeming more content in parallel play than shared play. This matters because that impulse to share discovery with others is a really early marker of social communication developing on schedule. The 10th and final sign is in your child's gestures, specifically whether they use their body to communicate before they have the words to do it. Watch them when they want something just out of reach, like a snack on the counter. On track, most toddlers will point, reach, and look back at you, combining gesture and eye contact to basically say, "Help me get that," without a single word. A child who might benefit from extra support might reach or cry with frustration, but skip the pointing altogether, or might take your hand and use it like a tool to get what they want, without much eye contact along the way. This matters because gestures like pointing are often considered one of the earliest forms of communication, showing up before spoken words do. And that's all 10. If you've been nodding along to a few of these, take a breath. You are clearly a parent who pays attention, who shows up, who cares enough to sit through a video like this instead of just hoping for the best. That matters more than you know. I want to be really clear about something. Seeing one, two, even several of these signs does not mean your child has autism. These are simply patterns worth noticing and worth mentioning to your pediatrician, who can help you figure out whether it's just your child's unique personality or something worth a closer look. You are not diagnosing anything by watching this video. You're just paying attention, which is exactly what you should be doing. If this raised questions for you, you might be wondering what actually happens next, what an evaluation even looks like, and what to expect if you do decide to bring this up at your next appointment. That's exactly what I'm covering in my next video, so keep an eye out for that one.